We are back with another World Cup video because it is World Cup month.
We actually got to watch a game live last night, Sarah.
Yes. Well.
And actually, I was talking to someone and he was telling me that most of their games in Europe are happening at kind of quote unquote normal times, but in the States, North America, they're happening in very overnight times.
Times like that, you wish you lived in a different country.
Yeah, exactly. But timestamps down below. See the title, we're going to talk a little bit about Ruesha and Katie, but we are going to talk about, I guess we'll kind of mention the game we watched last night, Colombia versus South Korea. I was rooting for South Korea.
I was rooting for Colombia.
And South Korea did not win.
Colombia did.
But it was a good game. But Colombia looked good, you know. They won. And I believe South Korea actually is higher ranked than Colombia. So,
and a historic moment happened last night. The youngest player
to
ever play in a World Cup, 16 years old.
Yeah. She's Korean American because her mom, I believe, is Korean. Mm-hmm. She was born there. And that was probably a very, very cool moment for her because, you know, going to a World Cup, you know. And then New Zealand, Philippines, another historic moment. Philippines scored their very first goal ever at the World Cup, at least for the women's team, I believe. And they were excited. I did have New Zealand pulling that out, but wasn't meant to be. But I was happy to see Philippines score, and it was historic, and love that. And then also the game that just happened was Switzerland, Norway. And we talked about it a little bit at the tail end of our video yesterday. We're not really going to talk about it here. But Camp Norway, there is a lot of internal strife happening over there. So many talented players over there. Internally, there's some issues. And one of their stars, Hegerberg, she got injured before the match even started. Hey, it's Sarah here. I'm just doing a quick voiceover because when we initially recorded this video, I didn't realize how wild of a situation the Hegerberg leaving when she did. I didn't realize she was already in the huddle. I didn't realize her teammates didn't seem to even know what was going on when they showed it on the TV because Sarah and I just watched the match right now. It seems like a wild situation, and I think it kind of goes back to what we're going to talk about in a second in this video, that there is a lot of issues on the team, you know, interesting system over there. You know, she left the game after the huddle. Hegerberg did say she felt a strain in her groin, but that's all I know right now. But I did want to mention that I didn't realize how wild of a situation it was. But I hope she feels better. I saw her on the bench, so I hope it gets better with her. And then the other issue that they're having is, I saw this on Twitter, good luck to Norway today. They will need it because the only two people who did something useful in their debut match won't be playing. They ended up coming off the bench, which they didn't start. And then they go watch Hege Riise regret her choices 10 minutes into the match instead of changing tactics like Ingrid and Graham suggested, which that's the problem. Ingrid Engen were interviewed. Ingrid said the forwards are too far forward and the defenders were too far back. She kind of was in no man's land in the middle, and she felt like that wasn't a good tactic. Apparently, Hege Riise heard this and said they didn't like it, so that seems like we were going on the bench because of that. Because she spoke out that she didn't like the tactics. So there's a lot going on over there. Then Cailin Graham Hansen, it was reported she had a sore throat and that she was sick, but it seemed as though that wasn't quite truthful, or there was something going on because she was not starting today. Norway ended up tying with Switzerland. Cailin did come in about, 60th or 70th minute. And after the match, Cailin Graham Hansen was, she kind of spoke out. She goes, "My hands are tied." A Norway star, Cailin Graham Hansen, lashes out after starting on the bench in FIFA's World Cup. So there's a lot of issues over there. It doesn't seem like a lot of people are happy. And a lot of people will say it would be interesting to see what the English fans think about this, because Hege Riise is also the interim coach who went to the Olympics with them for Team GB.
Oh, yeah.
And she famously did not put Beth Mead on that team, if you remember. And Beth Mead in her book said Hege Riise, she had that one conversation with her. "You're not going on the team," and that was it. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
So it'd be interesting to see what the English fans think about the situation, because I feel bad because Norway has such a talented team. So that was today. Now tomorrow, USA versus Netherlands should be an exciting game.
Yes.
And I'm so looking forward to it. Of course, I think the United States is going to win, but it's going to be close. You know, it's going to be a tough battle. But also, the team I am mostly looking forward to watching, other than the United States tomorrow, is Canada v. Republic of Ireland. that is, I think all eyes are going to be on that game. Because Canada had a draw in their first match. Republic of Ireland lost their first match. So it should be a pretty evenly matched game in a lot of ways. But obviously, the storyline that I think is the biggest storyline out of these games so far, which is wild to me because I thought the biggest storyline was going to be Sam Kerr out. I think that was going to be the big storyline, is that Katie and Ruesha are going to be playing tomorrow. And I mean, everyone knows what's going on with them. The snub. Everyone's talking about the snub of the handshake of Caitlin Foord. Even the New York Post did a story about it.
Really?
Yes. Major publications are doing a story. And some people are like, why are people highlighting this and why people aren't? But I think it's interesting to hear about the dynamic of the team now. That's the kind of angle I want to talk about a little bit. Kind of the dynamic of the team. When these kind of things happen, is it a distraction? They're going to this match against Canada. Everyone's talking about, they're calling it the love triangle. Oh, and it's like, is that a distraction to the team?
Obviously, I can see how it's a distraction to the team. But it's like, I feel like when you're on the field, and like a lot of people in sports, I don't care what drama you have going off the field. When you're on the field, you're a team.
Right.
You're playing. You're focused on the game. Nothing else. Like, don't think about the drama, whatever. So, and I think that's true here.
Right. That's what their mentality is going to be. It doesn't matter what's happening. We have a job to do. We're talented. We can do it. We can win.
Yeah, and I'm sure that the coach maybe even said that in the locker room. Or
right.
He's going to say that before the game. It doesn't matter what's happening off the field. Focus on winning and what's going on the field.
Yeah, because we didn't even talk about this, but in the last Daily Mail article and another article I'm looking at, there was actually even more of a confrontation than we talked about. I'm going to read this.
Controversies flared up during the FIFA Women's World Cup fixture between Australia and Ireland on Friday after Ruesha Littlejohn snubbed a handshake with Caitlin Foord. This was followed by a heated altercation between the two after the full-time whistle. Although the reason behind the feud is not entirely clear, the media is linking it to the possibility of Littlejohn and Foord having issues with each other due to Katie McCabe. Eyewitnesses say tensions boiled over to the point where Littlejohn appeared to make an attempt to approach Foord while the sides were still on the pitch after the match, only to be physically restrained by a number of her teammates.
Okay, so we didn't really talk about that. That was in the article. But I mean, hearing those kind of things, we didn't even talk about the physical altercation. I did see a picture of them they weren't touching, but it looked like they were Ruesha was kind of going at Kate. They weren't physically embattled or anything. Going from that, I mean, the locker room, I mean, I'm sure there's factions in the locker room. You know what I mean? Someone's team Ruesha, someone's team Katie. Even take away.
You make it seem like it's divergent.
Well, on the team, even take aside what the public perception is inside the team. What is that? Is that distraction? What's the mentality of everyone in the locker room, Because that's going to be a tough match, but it might even fuel the fire for them even more. We're fired up. We're going to beat Canada. You know what I mean? They might just be like, let's leave everything off the table. I was also having this thought. Hopefully this video comes out before the Canada-Ireland game. Is there any way the coach can say, there's too much. Katie's the captain. She's playing. Ruesha's the one who didn't shake the hand. Ruesha, you're benched. Because Hege Riise benched Ingrid for less than what Ruesha did, realistically. So could the coach go to Ruesha saying, you're benched, you're causing distraction? To bench Ingrid and Graham Hansen for questioning, hey,
But she's questioning the coaching.
That's true. Okay, good point, Sam.
Which is
different.
Yeah.
Okay, good point. That's kind of the take I want to take on it. What is the internal dynamics going on? Because they have to be strained at this point. Especially after it almost got physical out there, like physical after the match. So I guess the idea is the aftermath of that. I mean, everyone on the planet is talking about that. And
on the planet? I don't think they're teaching this in K through 12 or kindergarten. Preschool.
I was either on TikTok or Twitter, and somebody was saying, that their dad was telling them about the Ruesha Katie thing. And they're like, Dad, you don't even know what's going on.
That's wild.
But that's interesting. And also, I mean, within their friend group too, there's a lot. I think, people are unfollowing each other on Twitter, on Instagram. Ruesha's unfollowed, I believe, Jordan. A lot of people are unfollowing each other. And it's just like, there is so much going on. But like I said, maybe personally it's going to help their play because they're going to be so fired up. But also, Ruesha's sister, she's a very famous journalist. She has a YouTube channel. Ruesha's sister said Ruesha is doing okay. She's doing well. She didn't elaborate, obviously, but she just said she's doing good.
Was she talking about this?
Yeah, it was after this thing. So that's good to hear. But I mean, to know that this has gotten to this level, because a lot of people, I see the thing of, did Katie have her Claudia ring as relationship when they went to Ibiza? Did they have this? So many like he said, she said things, and it's almost like
she said.
Yeah. So many things like that. And at the end of the day, no one will ever know unless someone wants to do like an interview. So even in that regard,
I still think people should date each other on the team. Okay, that's
a good question. I don't think this should hinder people from taking it serious, taking relationships seriously on the team. I don't think you should say, well, look at Ruesha, Katie, they had a problem. So no one should date anyone.
Because realistically, I mean, your career, yeah, you're only an athlete for so long, but true love is forever, okay? Don't give up on it.
And if they win and they go far at Ireland, then you're going to say, hey, it helped almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a good point. I don't want it to make managers dissuade players from maybe date, but maybe don't talk about. I don't know the answer to that.
Heart wants what it wants.
What do you guys think? I was going to talk about the Sam Kerr thing, but the only thing it said,
we're cut for time.
The Australia plays again tomorrow. Sam Kerr's teammate Kara Cooney, she made a statement saying something about Sam. It's unfortunate that Sam tore her shin. And a lot of people said tear. I thought it was a strain. And then they had to clarify, well, it technically was a strain. But then I read something that said, technically speaking, a strain is actually a minor tear. So technically that she wasn't wrong.
Classic synonym mistake.
Yeah. So a lot of people are saying, what's going on with Sam? We don't know. Still don't know. She's not going to play in tomorrow's game, but who knows if she will play even after that. Still so wild to me. Oof. Especially after Hegerberg, she got hurt too. I mean, that's the star of the Norway show. I mean, if you are the biggest player on your team, the star of the show, watch out, because a lot of things are happening.
I hate when players get injured before the World Cup.
Because if you think about the worst, because if you think about here at the games, a couple of people have been hurt, but Team England, Beth Mead, the most notable player, Viv, the most notable player, out. Mal Swanson, who was at that point the biggest goal scorer on the U.S. team, out. If you are the star of your show, if you are the star of your team,
it's coming for you.
Whether it happened pre-World Cup or now, everyone be careful.
It's just wild to think what the World Cup would look like if we had all the best players that did get injured. A lot
of people are saying that, exactly.
It would be wild.
What does everyone think? I want to hear what people think about this. I don't pick Ruesha's side. I don't pick Katie's side. I really don't.
You're on the side of the refs.
I love the refs. But what do people think? Do you think this is a distraction internally? Do you think there's factions inside the Irish team? Do you think that people are going to be distracted? Do you think the players are going to be distracted when they go on the field? Like Sara says, your coach says, I don't care what the hell happened. You're going to go out there. You're going to go out there and win. If this happens and they go out there and win, I mean, whatever is happening internally, or do you think some players are mad at Ruesha on the team? Not that would be the dynamic, but how, it must be tricky right now over at Team Ireland. But if anything, they are fighters. They're gonna go kick ass. So that's all I know.
Hey, you said ass.
But okay, who do you have? Canada versus Ireland.
Canada.
I have Ireland.
But I do think it's gonna be a tough match.
Tough.
It's gonna be close. And both teams are going to bring it.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see who's going to bring it a little bit more. I don't know. Dumb.
Questions, comments down below. What do you think? And is anyone's dad asking them about Ruesha and Katie? Questions, comments down below. We'll talk to everyone later. Have a great night.
Bye.